Hello everybody, it's Shockinator 1000 here with Point for Tuesday, welcoming you to a little side video that I'm going to be doing for today for all you newbie Pokemon players. In other words, I had to stop the video, well not video, but I had to stop the music right there, using my very old iPod Touch to actually play my intro music, but yeah. So anyway, going on about this topic right here, you probably might be thinking like, hang on, why am I going over a topic about talking about competitive Pokemon or something, which is actually what we're going to be talking about today? Well, I'm doing this out of the courtesy of like new Pokemon players, so it's basically like if there's somebody in the world who's never ever played a single Pokemon game before in their life, then I'm going to have the courtesy of my heart to actually talk about how to create a good competitive team in the certain aspects when it comes to Pokemon story-based teams and online competition teams. So I'm going to go behind the camera right now. Obviously you're going to see my logo, which actually changed since the last time you've seen it. Obviously we're going to zoom out quite a bit, so you see, here we go. So this is my logo now. Does look pretty nice, I'll have to admit. But then again, I did actually see this photo on DeviantArt, so I've got to give kudos to the original artist who made this photo. Not with the whole electric balls like Moon and my Shockinator 1000 thing. Not because of that. So anyway, I'm going to move my laptop back as far as I can. And we are now going to show you the PowerPoint. So, here we go. Tips on how to create a good Pokemon team for both story-based as well as competitive formats. Number 1, planning. Now this is the number 1 key factor that you need to do in all Pokemon games. You need to plan you need to plan the following, in other words, and we're going to go over them right now. It is essential to plan a team always before jumping right in. The best way to plan a competitive, strong team is to do the following. Pay attention to the Pokemon's type. So there are 18 Pokemon types in total, and I can list them all to you right now. We've got normal, grass, fire, water, rock, steel, ground, flying, ice, electric, dragon, poison, fighting, fairy, bug, dark, ghost, and electric. I might have listed one type already, but we're going to run along with it anyway. Also, speaking of Pokemon types, you need to think what types beat the Pokemon. So like say for example, you are using a fire type Pokemon. Fire types are weak to water, rock, and ground. And all 3 of those types can be beaten by one type, which is grass. Which is very interesting to say the least. But the majority of the time, fire-type Pokemon are not able to learn a really good grass-type move until you manage to unlock it later on in the story-based game. So just keep that heads up in mind. And speaking of moves, there you go. What moves do they learn? So that's what I say. Certain Pokemon can learn a lot of moves based on certain types, like the 18 I mentioned earlier on. Depending on what type move you teach the Pokemon, it also fixates on how well you're going to use them in the team. Now usually when it comes to me, I always teach moves to Pokemon that help cover their weaknesses, but if I know that I can't do that, then I use one type Pokemon in my team that is able to help beat whatever type I'm not able to beat with that Pokemon. But the key factor is, you need to teach a Pokemon a move that is the same type as the holder. So like say, again, a fire type Pokemon. You need to teach him a fire type move because he gets a 1.5 times stab boost, which means the power of his fire type moves become 50% greater than what it already is. And also, the majority of Pokemon can carry abilities. Now, certain fire type Pokemon, we'll go to the starter Pokemon for example, like Charmander, since that's the easiest fire type starter Pokemon for anybody to remember. They carry the main ability of Blaze. And Blaze is an ability that boosts the power of fire type moves if the holder has about a third of its max HP remaining when being used in battle. If it has taken more damage than a third, then it will still get the fire type boost, in other words. Sorry if I'm actually shaking constantly because I can't keep my iPad still. I would use something to hold my iPad in place, but I didn't really think it's too far ahead. But the last one you need to think about in this one, can they cover each other's allies' weaknesses? This is actually fixated on the moves, so we can skip through that bit. Okay, now for number 2. Base, stats, and training. Now this is actually going to be a key factor that I'm going to be talking about right here, because there are a lot of things to talk about when it comes to base stats. I have got 2 Pokemon in the photo in this PowerPoint to show us a demonstration, and we've got Walrein. As you can not see, hang on, there we go. Walrein right here is an ice water type. It carries the abilities of Thick Fat or Ice Body and the hidden ability Oblivious. The hidden ability Oblivious basically prevents the Pokemon from being attracted, whereas Ice Body heals up the Pokemon's HP when in hail, and Thick Fat halves damage taken from Fire type and Ice type attacks. With Walrein, these are his base stats. You can see we've got 110 HP, 80 in attack, 65 in speed, 95 in special attack, and 90 in both defense. So you can see with Walrein, he's basically like a hybrid Pokemon to say the least. And if you wanted to do EV training, you could do something the following of either training him up in physical attack and special attack to make him an all-offensive Pokemon, or you can focus on doing his defenses and make him a very tanky Pokemon, making him a really hard one to knock out. These arrows are indicating the EV training, because when you train up your Pokemon, if you're doing, let's say, Pokemon Auras, for example, you have something called Super Training in the Pokénav something or other. I can't think of the official name of the app that you get given, but it allows you to train up your Pokemon by their effort values, which is what EV stands for, as you can see. On the bottom here, the minimum stats are calculated with 0 EVs, 0 IVs, and if applicable, with hindering nature. The maximum stats are calculated with 31 IVs and 252 EVs. What that means is you are only allowed to max train a Pokemon's base stat by 252, but this is only on one stat. The highest number of effort values you can train a Pokemon with is 510. So you could do something like 252 attack and special attack, meaning you've only got 8 effort values left to put on any of the following stats of HP, defense, special defense, and speed. Same case scenario with the defense. But you can be interesting and do, like, I don't know, vitamin drinks, which are HP up, protein, iron, calcium, zinc, and carbos. You can feed one Pokemon 10 of each of the 5, but only 1 of the 6th. So like say you could give him 10 HP up, 10 protein, 10 iron, 10 calcium, and 10 zinc, but only 1 carbos. Because one vitamin drink is the exact same effort values of giving him 10 EVs. And you're allowed to feed them a maximum of 10, meaning you're giving them 100 EV for each stat. And the other Pokemon to use in this demonstration, Heliolisk. Heliolisk is an electric normal type that was introduced in Generation 6 in the Kalos region. He carries the main abilities of Dry Skin or Sand Veil. Dry Skin basically prevents him from being attacked by water type attacks, but it takes more damage from fire type moves. Whereas, actually, hang on, now think about it. I think Dry Skin might have actually had a change in the Gala region, but I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. Sand Veil is a simple case scenario. It boosts the Pokemon's evasion when used in Sandstorm, except because Heliolisk is not a rock, steel, or ground type. He will take recoil damage from a Sandstorm at the end of every turn, so do not go for that ability. The hidden ability he carries is Solar Power, which boosts the Pokemon's special attack stat when used in harsh sunlight, but at the cost of HP by a 16th of his max health every turn. And this is what Heliolisk's base stats look like. 62 HP, 55 attack, 52 defense, 94 special defense, and 109 in both special attack and speed. I think when it comes to effort values, no question about it for veteran players, they will know exactly what to do. But for the newbies, you can tell that, yes, Heliolisk can potentially take special hits from, well, special attacking moves, which I will go over at a later point in the profile of this PowerPoint. But if you wanted to do EV training of Heliolisk, the best case scenario is to make him do max in special attack and max in speed. Because just look at the difference of that EV value. We got 348 max in both speed and special attack. You can do the following of either making him be either a timid nature, which is plus speed minus physical attack, so he's more likely guaranteed to outspeed everyone, or max special attack, so he can basically hit hard, even if you have the hidden ability Solar Power. And now for number 3, if you can tell by this photo, held items. Now going back over to Walrein and Heliolisk here, I came up with a whole strategy of thinking, right, we've gone over the EVs, we've gone over their stats, we've gone over the abilities that they carry and also what type they are, but what held item would be best suited for the Pokemon? Well, if we go over Walrein first, we have got the following of a Quick Claw. The Quick Claw is basically an item that will allow the Pokemon to move first before opponents on a random chance. The only time you can tell if your Pokemon is guaranteed to move first in battle is when the Quick Claw activates, and yes, it is not a one-time use. You can use it as many times as you like in the turn, because it's completely random every time. But if you don't want to focus on random chance, you could also give him the Wise Glasses, which boosts the power of special attacking moves by 10%. And you can tell with Walrein's special attack being 95 compared to his physical attack being 80, that might be a good idea. But others, you could give him this item, which is known as the Icy Rock. Since Walrein is known to carry an ability that heals his HP from the hail, you can use a Pokemon that sets up the hail, or him himself to use the move hail, because yes, he can learn that. A majority of Pokemon can learn weather-affecting moves of Sunny Day, Rain Dance, Sandstorm, and Hail. You can give the Pokemon the held item of the Icy Rock to extend the duration of the hail from 5 turns to 8. But this item was not a good item when you were playing Pokemon games in Generation 4 and 5, because the weather effects were there permanently, providing that the Pokemon was able to carry the abilities Drought, Drizzle, Sandstream, or Snow Warning. But the actual weather moves, as I mentioned earlier on, which were Sunny Day, Rain Dance, Hail, and Sandstorm, then yes, you were only allowed to have that weather effect go on for 5 turns. So that's the whole logic with that. But in Generation 6 and onwards, they made both weather moves and weather abilities last for 5 turns before they were wiped out. Which is why, focusing on the here and now, because we are currently in Generation 8 in my home country of England, you want to go for an Icy Rock for whatever Pokemon is able to set up the Hail. I can't register Walrein for this because Walrein cannot be found in the Gala region, so give a heads up on that. But when the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra get released, maybe you might be able to get Walrein in the game. But the Crown Tundra is not to be released until sometime late 2020, which is around November, December time. Actually, no, sorry, it's in August, sorry. It's in autumn. The Crown Tundra gets released in autumn, but the Isle of Armor gets released sometime around in June. But Heliolisk is able to be gotten in the Gala region, and I'll go over what his items can be right now. You can give Heliolisk the Choice Scarf. This will boost the Pokemon's speed in battle. I don't know by the percentage ratio, but hint the reason of the name Choice Scarf, it will lock you into using whatever move you've made Heliolisk use. This item can be really good if you want to guarantee to outspeed everyone, if you're a modest nature, for example, which is plus special attack minus physical attack. But just note, the Choice Scarf is basically like a good risk or a bad risk, depending on your whole case scenario with competitive battling. But if you don't want to go for the Choice Scarf, then everybody's most common item to give Heliolisk is the Focus Sash. Now, the Focus Sash will automatically guarantee the Pokemon to survive a super effective attack from max health down to 0. If that happens, the Focus Sash will activate and the Pokemon will be forced to survive on 1 HP every time they get to max health. Down to when it was guaranteed to kill it. So, if you want Heliolisk to stay alive, you could tank the hit with the Focus Sash, deal damage, and then just hope for the best that your allies can actually knock him out before he gets knocked out himself. And now, finally, for number 4. Now, this is where we're going to go over the Pokemon moves in full. We have the category of moves of Physical, Special, and Status. Now, the following category of these moves go as follows, because Physical looks like this. I'll bring it a bit closer for you to see. It's basically a red rectangle with a yellow star in the middle. It doesn't look as though it's yellow on my camera because it looks like it's white, but trust me, it is yellow. That is what the Physical symbol effect looks like. But if you're wanting to go for special attacking moves, that's what Special looks like. It's basically a dark blue rectangle with a light blue crop circle in the middle. But status moves, which are basically moves that do not deal damage to your opponent at all, look like this. It is a grey rectangle with a yin and yang symbol in the middle of a circle. And yeah, it does look like yin and yang because one side is white, the other side looks like it's grey, when it's probably meant to resemble black, but yeah, you kind of get the picture. So, you probably think, am I going to go over and using Heliolisk and Walrein for this category again? Nope, I found a different Pokemon to demonstrate this. We have got Gengar. Gengar is a ghost poison type who can hit hard in certain scenarios. This is what Gengar's base stats look like. As you can easily tell, he is a special attacker by far. He's 130 base special attack compared to 65 base physical. And these are all the moves he can pretty much learn. Sorry, the problem may be a bit small. You can see, this is his Gen 8 level up move pool. You can see he can learn not so many physical moves, but a lot of special moves. And you can easily tell from physical and special because special is highlighted in the actual colour that you saw with the category earlier on. Same for physical, same for status. So if you actually want to go for a certain case scenario with Gengar here, you notice that you can see with the special attack stat, you probably think, oh hang on, I just teach him whatever move is actually best suited. No. Pay close attention to the Pokemon stats. You can see his highest base stat is special attack, meaning if you teach him a physical attacking move, he will not hit hard. You need to teach him a special attacking move if you want to deal a lot of damage. And the best special attacking moves he can learn in this level up move pool are Shadow Ball and Dark Pulse. You can also teach him the status move for Confuse Ray, which is a 100% definite confusing of the opposing Pokemon. But if you just want to make him be like, I don't know, a fast special sweeper, go for Shadow Ball over Dark Pulse because Gengar is a ghost type and Shadow Ball is a ghost type move, meaning he's going to get a 50% stab boost of that move. And other moves you can learn by a TM over here. You can see you can learn a lot of physical attacking moves, but I wouldn't recommend them. He can learn Icy Wind, which is very strange. But then again, it's understandable because what you could do is you could teach him Icy Wind and help lower the opponent's speed to help your ally Pokemon in your team to guarantee to outspeed your opponent and deal Armageddon towards them. But if you want to focus more on healing his health as best as you can teach him Giga Drain instead. And yes, I would highly recommend those two moves specifically because Gengar was once known to have a weakness to Dark, Ghost, and Psychic before Generation 7 came out. Because when Generation 7 became a thing, his main ability got changed from having Levitate for the ability, which prevented him from being hit by ground-type moves, to then have Cursed Body be his main ability. And yes, I am telling you this right now, Cursed Body was Gengar's hidden ability in Generation 6, but is now his main ability in Generation 7 and onwards. Which means his hidden ability now is Shadow Tag, which prevents Pokemon from being switched out providing that the Pokemon with that ability is in the battle. But with Gengar having a Gigantamax form having G-Max Horror, which basically just does that anyway, then there's no point in having the hidden ability Gengar. And obviously that's not all the teams, by the way. There's even more teams over here. You can see he can learn Sludge Bomb, which is a stab poison move. He can even learn Energy Ball if you don't want to focus on healing but deal a lot of damage. You can even learn Dazzling Gleam, which does help beat his Dark type weakness, which is very good. And you can also learn the following moves of like Psychic, Thunder, Thunderbolt, and so on. So honestly, with Gengar, with his whole moves plot, you probably might think, what is best suited for Gengar to learn in a scenario for a competitive Gengar? Highly, I would recommend Shadow Ball, Sludge Bomb, Icy Wind or Giga Drain, and Dazzling Gleam. Because Dazzling Gleam would beat Dark, Giga Drain / Icy Wind would beat his ground weakness, Sludge Bomb would be Stab, and Shadow Ball would be Stab, plus he will also beat his weakness to Ghost. So that would mean you're beating your Ghost weakness, your Dark weakness, and your ground weakness, and also your Psychic weakness. So he's beating all 4 of his weaknesses with that moveset that I recommended from the very beginning. But if you want to mix and match, that's entirely your decision. You could do something like Nightshade, which actually deals damage equal to the user's HP. You could do Hex along with Will-O-Wisp, because Will-O-Wisp will actually burn your opponent, and then Hex will do double the damage providing your opponent has a status condition, but best suited if you have somebody else with Will-O-Wisp than Gengar, because like I said with Gengar, his base physical defense is 60, and that means he's not going to be able to take a single physical attack, regardless if it's a stab move that is super effective, a super effective move that's not used by the same type Pokemon, or just a regular attack that does neutral damage to him. Okay? And that's basically it. So I hope this actually helps you in certain case scenarios. I can't guarantee that I'm actually the best like helpful guidance in the world, because I do competitive Pokemon battling for a living. Not across the globe, like I go to Washington for the VGC tournament that happens once every year. I'm not that sort of person who does that. I don't travel across the globe just to battle in a tournament to hopefully win the title of becoming a Pokemon champion. I don't care about that. What I care about really is doing competitive battling online just for the base fact of fun entertainment. But before I end this video, something I actually would like to ask these veteran Pokemon players, because I know you newbies probably won't understand what I'm on about. Who here in the Pokemon veteran scenario thinks that it is a stupid idea that Nintendo created the fact that in the Pokemon VGC competitions on Pokemon Sword and Shield, that you are only allowed to use Pokemon that have been caught in Gala? I am not joking. I actually did research on the internet yesterday that said the following. You're not allowed to use duplicate Pokemon. You're not allowed to use duplicate held items. You are not allowed to use legendaries or mythicals, which is perfectly fine. I accept that. And it says you are only allowed to use Pokemon that are known to be registered in the regional Pokédex of the Gala region. That's perfectly fine. So what I did was, I got all Pokemon that are found in the Gala region from previous games and transferred them via Pokemon Home into Pokemon Sword and Shield. And then I tried using them in competitive battling online, but the game said I cannot use them because they were not caught in Gala. And I did research on the internet about this, and yes, sure enough, one of the rules say you are only allowed to use Pokemon if they have the Gala symbol in their court bar, indicating that if they are not shown to be caught in Gala, then you're not allowed to use them in a battle. Because I put a random Conkeldurr that I caught in Alola and Goodra that I caught in Kalos. I transferred them over into my Shield game. I wanted to use them, but the game said no, you're not allowed. And I personally hate that. So I hope for the best when the Isle of Armor gets released, they get rid of that Pokemon must be caught in the Gala region in order to use them in competitive battling. I wish they get rid of that, because it just spoils the fun of competitive battling. Because I've got so many Pokemon to breed today based on that alone. So anyway, that's that rant over and done with. So all I can say is thank you guys so much for watching this video, especially you newbie Pokemon players. I hope this video actually helps you to become a more better Pokemon player by far, because it's honestly, when I was a new Pokemon player back in 2010, I never understood the difference of physical moves and special moves being pretty good against certain Pokemon. Because, true story, I actually had a Hitmontop one time in Pokemon Platinum, and I kept teaching him special attacking moves, and when I used them in the battle, they were not doing any damage to my opponent at all. I was like, okay, I used Thunderbolt, and yes, Hitmontop cannot learn Thunderbolt, but I used an action move to teach him that move. I was battling one of my friends. I told him to use Thunderbolt, and it only did 1/10 of his health damage. It only did 1/10. So, and when I did that battle, my friend then eventually told me the difference of the physical special split, and then I realized, oh, okay, now I understand, now I'm going to do this, and ever since then, I've been better at Pokemon by far. So anyway, that's the end for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and join me next time for more Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. See you guys then.